Welcome back, everyone. Coach Blake the Black Faker here. We are going to be doing a Is It Clickbait? Every Wednesday is a Is It Clickbait video. Pretty much you guys submit me a video of any content creator or any video you think is clickbait, and I will go ahead and watch the video, go over it. Possibly it's not. Possibly it is factual information. Sometimes it's not, though, and it's just there to get you to click and get you to watch, and then you like, I learned nothing from this 10-minute video. This is never to, BM the channel or BM the company or whoever the videos come from. This is strictly just, is this specific video clickbait or is it actually something you can learn from? So without further ado, let's just hop right into it. One more thing I just want to make sure that I ask you guys, do you guys think it's better that I cut it up and make it shorter, or you guys actually like watching the entire video? Let me know in the comments below what you guys want.
Kills. We'll be walking you through what high elo players do to secure first blood and what low elo players do wrong, which makes Tristana seem like a balanced champion.
Okay, so first off, you can't mimic high elo, and if you were able to do that, you'd be smurfing. So I already don't like the direction this is going. There we go. You want to understand that things that high elo players do isn't really something that you could pull off. And a lot of the times it's because, especially in a bot lane, it's a 2v2 lane. So if your support's not really on it, then you can't do it. And also I've learned that players who do try to do things that high elo players do kind of get away with it doing it incorrectly. And then they get to an elo where it just doesn't work anymore. And although it's a good strat, quote unquote, they don't know really how to do it properly because they were never punished the right way. You know what I mean? It's kind of hard to explain. But anyway, let's get going.
But first, our question.
Skip the question of the day.
Or maybe early and blast in on Tristana are pretty simple. You just jump into your opponent, E them, and blast them with auto attacks. There's not really much to the actual execution of the kill. So instead of the mechanics, we'll be focusing on.
Okay, so in that play, Thresh got her the kill. Just wanted to point that out. It was not Tristana's doing at all.
How to actually set things up so that you're able to go for those plays in the first place. We'll also be covering some overly common problems that we see players face on her, which prevent them from popping off with early kills. First things first though, what should you play Tristana with? This is pretty.
Doesn't matter. Play Tristana with anything you want to play it with. If you're a Tristana player, then play Tristana. Through climbing my ADC account, it doesn't matter what you play. It's nice to pick something that goes with the support, but at the end of the day, most people that are climbing, especially if you haven't reached diamond yet, are usually 1 to 2 tricks. So, it's okay to play what you're just good at. It doesn't matter anything. But to follow the quote of this video here, or the title is how to guarantee first blood, then yeah, I would assume if you want to quote unquote guarantee that first blood, it's better to play it with a kill lane support. Doesn't really matter which one, just as long as it is a kill lane support. So we're gonna go to this one. Don't leash. No wonder why people have started to stop leashing.
Early kills, and the most important
videos
for
like
doing
these
that is to immediately communicate to your jungler that you'd rather not leash for them. Obviously, you
don't have to avoid leashing. You could just stop at leashing at 1k. 1k HP is just fine for you to make it into lane and still have that aggressive feel. The only time I would say like leash a little less is if the other jungler's not starting bot, or it is a very, very oppressive lane and you need to gain control of it quickly. Tristana is very good at shoving, even accidentally. So like not being there is fine. You could argue that I won't hit level 2, but like I said, if you just time it right and you walk back, you'll be fine.
This won't always be possible, but you should try and ask if they can go for either a leashless start or start on the other side of the map.
If the jungler starts on the other side of the map, you're screwing up their pathing. If they're pathing to top, but you're making them start top, they're going to be pathing to bot, and your jungler's going to suck. Your jungler's never going to be on time. Never screw over your jungler. Okay, if your jungler asks for a leash, if your jungler asks for help, whatever, like never screw them, no matter what elo you're in. If you screw up a jungler, then you kind of screw up the game. The jungler is the only role that kind of is affected based off of all the players in the game. Every single one, all 9, right? If you tell your jungler, if you don't leash your jungler, the clear can be slower. If you don't leash your jungler, they could arrive to things late. If you don't leash the jungler and they have to start on the opposite side, they'll be pathing to the wrong side. Already, just within the first, minute of the game, you already decided, there's 3 things you decided for your jungler just by your choice to leash or not. That's insane, ain't it? And that's just how much it snowballs into the game. There's so many things that you can do to screw your jungler over that you just really, really don't want to do because your games are going to be extremely difficult. So I will say you need to leash if it's a jungler that really needs it. I would say any jungler needs it, except Ivern, obviously, and Shaco. Like, there are exceptions, but I will say you need to know which jungler needs your leash more and which jungler you can kind of leash a little and just leave. So
Getting to the wave second as Tristana creates a very bad snowball effect for the lane.
You kind of see how this works here. If we look at this, right? Let's see what time she stopped leashing.
And the most important tip for doing that is to immediately communicate.
So it's about 1k. It's fine. We get to lane, right? Blitz has the little Targon's thing. So he should definitely walk up and hit it.
Getting to the wave.
He didn't walk up and hit it. You see he still has 2 Targon procs. I call it Targons. I don't know what the items. Y'all know what item I'm talking about. There's a lot of names for it. But anyway, when you proc it, it kills the minions. Also, there's no way that she should be shoved back this hard, considering she's Tristana. This lane is just played poorly at the start. Blitz just played it wrong. And that's what I mean. Like, it doesn't even matter how you play. It's a 2v2 lane. There's no way you can guarantee anything if the support doesn't play it properly.
Second, as Tristana creates a very bad snowball effect for the lane. She is a short-range champion and will naturally get zoned by most ADCs and pushed off the wave. If you're zoned, then you obviously can't spike level 2 for her.
If your support's going to play like that Blitzcrank, you're going to be zoned regardless. Doesn't matter if you show up on time or show up late. Let's keep going here. I'm just going to fast forward. Okay, whatever. Nonsense.
Early to get wave control and get the push. The problem is many Tristanas mess that part up and miss their kill opportunity.
Let's go back a little bit.
Okay, so we've established that we want to be in lane early to get wave control and get the push. The problem is many Tristanas mess that part up and miss their kill opportunities because of it. So if you don't know, a common tip that we'll give players is to not level abilities until you actually need them. As an example for another ADC, let's say that Jinx just hit level 2 with a Leona. Jinx goes Q at level 1, so now she has the option between W or E. Well, both abilities have their uses depending on what actually happens. If Leona manages to get an all-in, Jinx E is very valuable for following up on her CC and chaining their opponents into a kill. But if Leona doesn't find an all,
Jinx isn't going to be able to 2v2. In a situation like this, what are the odds that Jinx is going to shove out Xayah, right? Xayah just has more wave clear. I guess you could say Jinx will use rockets, but regardless, anyway, there's really just no way that they would win that regardless of what you chose. I do understand what he's trying to say, though. There are champions that you do want to kind of decide like that, but most often than not, especially with AD carries, it doesn't really matter. Once again, your support is kind of what leads you into kills, not the other way around. So I kind of disagree with that. Doesn't really matter. Like in both scenarios, both of her abilities are fine. And if we're talking about Tristana's not leveling like your ability, then I mean, there's just really no point not to, right? I don't know. It's weird.
You can't stop pushing, and this problem costs a lot of Tristana players many kills during the early.
Let's see. Let's go back.
To use that spell. We bring this up because that tip is pivotal to play Tristana correctly. Her E is an automatic wave push mechanic.
True.
Once you've leveled it, you can't stop pushing.
True.
And this problem costs a lot of Tristana players many kills during the early game. Take a look at how it costs even this high elo Tristana player a ton of kill pressure to make this mistake. To be fair to this Trist, she was holding her first ability, but she was too quick to pull the trigger on leveling E when her Nautilus found a random auto attack on the Gragas. This mistake will cost her any hope of an early kill that she may have had. Now the wave is pushing so quickly into the enemy Ezreal and Gragas that they can just chill at their tower and wait for it to crash. Tristana's automatic shoving forces her to do the notorious push 2 into nothing strategy. Basically, crashing on the second wave in the game literally gives you no options. You can't dive, recall, roam, etc. It's usually just awful to do in most lanes. Normally, in most lanes, you could use the bounce back slow push to potentially look for an all-in. The wave would typically push to the red team's side here, since it's closer to the blue team's side. But again, Tristana auto pushes with her E, which means that cannot happen either if Ezreal just last hits minions. And then that means that the wave is going to keep pushing into Ezreal over and over again.
I don't like this example because you're not killing Ezreal regardless. Like, he'll just arcane shift out. So regardless of how they play this lane, whether she tries to get an early kill or not, like, Ezreal's a safe champ for a reason. It's called a safe pick. There's no level 2 kill you're getting on an Ezreal unless they are terrible, terrible. So I don't like this example at all. Doesn't matter what ability they take. It's one of those things where you create a perfect like clip to explain the thought process, but the clip just doesn't make sense. I don't know what Ezreal players just get killed that early. You know what I mean? But let's see. Let's
Seals
check
it
this
up
one.
almost instantly in the lane. There's a massive difference though, based on how this Ezreal is playing. It's much more clear here when only the caster minions are left. Do you see the big minion lead
Yeah, like I said, literally it's based off... Oh my lord.
Ezreal had over Tristana? Sven knew he had to level E in order to get wave control back here. He also knew that even if Ezreal completely stopped auto-attacking right now, that the wave won't be previous game. We've skipped ahead nearly a minute and notice how much longer the wave is held. Wave not hitting results in a kill, thanks to Kyle. It eventually gives Leona an all-in opportunity, which instantly results in a kill, thanks to Tristana's powerful early all-in.
It's thanks to Leona's powerful early all-in. Do we just forget about Leona's passive? It's not Tristana. Also, Leona ignited him. Also, Ezreal just played that pretty poorly.
Tower for a while. It eventually gives Leona an all-in opportunity, which instantly...
I mean, better player versus, like, worse player. The way that the Ezreal is playing is clear that he's not an Ezreal player. I could be wrong, though. I wish I could see the names. Maybe they learned their lesson from having the names show up for me researching it. But, yeah, I definitely think that... I'm trying to find it, because I don't think that's him. I mean, it could be, you know? I gotta give some of these guys credit, right? They can't BS you guys hardcore like this. But I definitely think that... just like I said, the Ezreal just played it differently. The Ezreal got too cocky. You see the way that he was playing aggressive. You pick Ezreal to play safe, not aggressive like that. You should know that you're going to get all in, especially with the Janna support. So I just think that they just didn't play it properly. And I don't really know if that's him or not, but it is what it is. Okay. All right, let's go back. Sorry, I just don't want to keep you guys here for that long, you know?
There's one crucial bit of information that you need to know to make your early game successful as Tristana. One issue is that players are aware of how strong Trista's early game is.
Yeah.
Even with a ranged support, Tristana's early all-in can still be deadly. Therefore, a lot of players usually just play safe and respectfully until the wave crashes into their tower.
Exactly.
Like we said before, a very easy problem to fix though, and to see how, let's watch how the rest of this game featuring Reckless plays out. Even gods can make mistakes, and Reckless just made a big one. Based on what you've learned, can you tell what he did? Okay, so we've talked trying. Crashing on the third wave and recalling is the correct answer. Despite his error, Reckless...
Okay, so this is not even Tristana specifically. So this video doesn't do anything. Honestly, like, usually some videos do teach a certain concept. And although I don't agree with some of them, it doesn't mean that they don't teach you anything. I feel like this video doesn't really teach you anything. Like, you're not really teaching me anything about Tristana. Only thing you told me about Tristana is that I'm jumping in and killing at level 2. And that's pretty much all I know. You're not really teaching me much. Like, this is BS. This is a whole bunch of BS. You're not telling me how to guarantee a kill. You're not telling me any strats. Like, is this a Tristana guide, or is this how to get guaranteed first blood in bot lane? Like, this is not even for every AD carry. Okay, we're out. Anyway. Thank you guys for watching. I do appreciate it. As I said, not all these videos are Fs. This one's F. This one just doesn't feel like it was well put together, and the title makes you click it, you get it, and it's like, this isn't what I signed up for at all. You know what I mean? So, like I said, I mean, you can't really guarantee anything in League of Legends. It's just not possible. You have to adapt to every single game. No player plays the same. I guess there are some. That's false. There are some players that play the same. They generally do the same thing, but there's little small things that each player does that just makes them different, which is why I don't coach players on a basis where it's like, I'll tell everybody the same exact thing, just because everybody has a little bit different than them, a different thing in them, and I try to kind of go to that. But speaking of coaching, if you guys want a coaching session, coachblicker.com, just book that. But as I said, this is an F. I don't agree with anything. It's definitely clickbait in my opinion. I don't like that they're hiding the names. If it's a pro player, why can't I see the names, right? I don't mind if you're hiding the names, doesn't matter. But if you're saying that it's a pro player, I want to see the names of that pro player. You know what I mean? So, I don't know. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. Until next time, you know what I always say. Thank you for what? Approaching this like a coach.